Hi everyone and welcome back. So it's been a while since we did a video and I'm back with Ethan, who's right above me here. Um,
Hello.
Today we're going to be designing a Call of Cthulhu character. I'm a big fan of the H.P. Lovecraft stuff. However, it is the first time that I am going to be actually doing this. Um, I've never played Call of Cthulhu. I've never run Call of Cthulhu. Never read the rule book to Call of Cthulhu. I know about it, heard about it, seen a few sessions kind of online. I have played the board game. What's it called?
Arkham
Arkham,
Horror.
Arkham
Well,
Horror,
the Arkham
uh,
Horror Files.
Elder Sign, and the like. So I played the board game side of it. Mansions of Madness is another one. So basically, the Lovecraftian board games is something that I am familiar with. Before we start, because
Yeah.
I'm being interrupted by work, so I'll just.
No worries. I'll just keep the people audience. So for those board games, those are actually kind of good examples. I would say they're the more pulpier side of Lovecraftian lore compared to like the standard Call of Cthulhu shenanigans we have in games. So yeah, just also let people know I've been playing Call of Cthulhu myself for about a number of years now, on and off though, because I've Call of Duty is very good for like smaller scenarios and like one-shot stories and really a full-fledged campaign. You can't do it. It's just the lethality ratio of your characters are it's pretty high. It's pretty high. Don't expect you're gonna survive against most Cthulhian mythos monsters on your first day without either going insane or dead.
Alright, so I have the rule book, which is the seventh edition,
Yep.
um, and I have my character sheet, which I'm guessing is also seventh edition, right?
Yes. Yep. Don't worry. We're currently in the seventh edition era, which I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. As far as I know, most of the editions of Call of Cthulhu, they're all gonna be the same. So it doesn't really matter. It's seventh edition just uses some of the new rules, but it's basically the same system since fucking 40 or so years ago. So um, yeah, but yeah. So the character sheet you have is the auto-calculate character sheet stuff sort of automatically, which I'll walk you through and everyone else who's watching, because there's some stuff that usually we need to take care of, but because the autocad takes a lot of the stuff taken care of, it's gonna be a breeze. So yeah,
Sweet.
let's jump into it.
If for any reason I need to roll dice, I'm using the online dice roller, which you can see on the screen. So this way you know what I'm rolling, so you know I'm not fudging dice. Um, the numbers that are currently displayed there is just because Ethan told me I needed D100s and 3D6s, so this is kind of what I'm expecting to use. Another thing is the only reason why my voice might be sounding a bit low is that we're recording this very late. Unlike Ethan, which has his own private room to do it in, my PC is set up in the hallway, which is right next to our bedrooms, and currently everyone's asleep. Just an FYI why I talk like this sometimes. This is not my natural production. Anyways, I digress. So we get straight into it. I'm going to get the rule book. And chapter 3, creating investigators.
Yes.
Most demonical of all shocks is that the abysmal, unexpected, and grotesquely unbelievable. Nothing I had before undergone could compare in terror with what I now saw, with the bizarre marvels that sight impaled. As you can see, this is one of Lovecraft's books, The Outsider.
Yeah, there's a lot of references in this book from
I, I
Lovecraft.
just I just love the way he uses his words. I would have loved to hear him speak.
Yeah, that
However, because the diction is kind of the old way of speaking, it is a bit obnoxious to read
yeah,
nowadays. Now that I've read certain books, with more like up to date
yeah.
lingo.
For just to let people know, it's Lovecraft wrote the stuff in the 1920s, so that was sort of the period where most of these books have been written. And that's where also Call of Cthulhu generally most adventures take place in the 1920s. But you can do modern Call of Cthulhu. That's perfectly fine. Um,
Yeah, in fact, the
so
the investigator thing is marked as modern era investigator. So
There's also 1920s. I think it's in the thing if I didn't drop it, but that doesn't really matter. They're both the same. Actually, there are some differences between both, but it's up to you.
Alright, so
Yeah.
about this character, the steps. Step one is generate the
Yeah.
characteristics. Two, determine the occupation. Three, decide skills and allocate skill points. Four is create a backstory, and five is equip the investigator. So basically, I'm reading the steps up here for anyone who's
Yep.
not following. Step one, generate characters. So a character is one of the eight numbers that creates the foundation of an investigator. In the game, each characteristic represents an aspect of the investigator: intelligence, dexterity, and so on. These identified quantities determine the relative capability of the investigator that suggest ways for them to act and react during play. Alright, cool. So, before I carry on reading, so I'm just looking at my character sheet. So I'm guessing it is this section right here.
Yep.
So it's strength, constitution, dexterity, intelligence.
Yeah. The top part we have those eight characteristics I can that exist. There's also some other stuff, but generally those are the eight core characteristics are in Call of Cthulhu. If you want, I can go through them quickly, but
So
yeah.
strength. Okay, so I'm guessing this is where we start, right?
Yeah. Yep, strength is where you start off. So here's where Call of Cthulhu's characterization kind of gets a little bit funky. So, five of the characteristics, you're going to be rolling 3d6, standard 3d6, and you're going to multiply it by 5. Because all characteristics in Call of Cthulhu are based on a percentage value from usually the 0 to 100. However, 3 of the stats you need to roll 2d6 plus 6 instead. The reason is those stats need to be a bit more higher than the other characteristics for character creation purposes.
I guess it kind of evens things out. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So let's roll for our strength. Strength is measured as muscle power for the investigator. The higher it is, the more the investigator can lift or tightly cling to something. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's generic strength. So it's 1, 2,
Mhm.
3 d6. That's a total of 12
Times 5 is
and
60.
60. So where do I write it? In the first part?
The first part, yeah.
So
Now once
60.
you add it in, it should put some other numbers next to it.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
S-
we'll get to that later, just so I don't confuse people onwards about that. But those will be relevant a bit later on the characterization step.
All right, so next is your constitution.
Health,
So,
health and vitality.
again, roll 3d6. 1, 2, 3. That's also 12.
60. All right, pretty good so far.
Okay,
Above average.
so that's the same. And we move down to size.
Size
So this is the part where we roll 2d6 instead.
plus 2d6 plus 6 and multiply it by 5.
Okay, so apply. That would be 10, and that's 15 total.
Nice. So you're a pretty big individual. So size represents how big of an individual you are, both on height and weight. I
Oh,
actually
wait,
had
this
some
size.
people.
Hold on, because I put it in dex.
Right. It's sort of there's some people can kind of confuse size and constitution because the people think it's the same, where in reality it's not really. They're both two different things entirely. Constitution is how healthy of an individual you are. Size is how big of a person you are. So you could be like a very weak individual in terms of your health, but you could be like a gigantic human in comparison. So something sort of split both
Okay.
between.
So we'll take off the +6. And we're going for dexterity. So it's roll
Mhm.
3d6 and multiply that again by 5.
Mhm.
Oh, that's low. I got a 6. So
Whew,
that's.
that's a 30. Not necessarily the fastest man. So yeah, Dex is just basically how quick you are as an individual, how nimble.
Okay.
Um, so yeah,
So
great.
appearance.
Appearance.
So appearance measures body, physical activeness, and personality. A person with a high appearance is charming and live. Okay, so it's like charisma.
Yeah, it's yeah, kinda. It's mostly just how you look. Like,
Cool.
oh, you are. So if you're like a high appearance, you are beautiful.
I
Or well, what'd you roll?
For appearance, I rolled a 5 in total, which makes it 25, right?
25. So you are not beautiful. I you are yeah. You're not really. You're kind of an ugly person. Let's just, not
Alright.
ugly, ugly, but not
Let's
necessarily a
see
winning
my
Oscar here.
intelligence.
Yeah, how smart you are. So again, you're going back to
So,
2d6 plus 6. Intelligence is
2d6.
how smart you are.
Oh my god. Plus 6, so that's 9, and 9 times 5 is 45.
45. Not smart.
I'd say average. No?
Yeah, below average. Just
Below
below average.
my IQ. Alright, so let's see what power does. So power is...
Will. Your force of will and your
Power
sanity.
indicates the force of will. The higher the power, the higher the aptitude for the resistance to magic. I, I don't know why there's a comma there. That's a typo for sure. Oh, no, no.
Maybe.
Okay, the way it's broken down. Never mind.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
an investigator with 0 power is zombie-like and without purpose, as well as being unable to use magic unless stated otherwise. Power is not lost during the game. That is lost during the game is lost permanently. Sanity points begin the game equal to the character's power. Okay.
So so power is basically willpower as I describe it. How much power you have will determine how sane you are as an individual and your resistance and use
Nice.
of magic. Yeah, so Rich said this is a high stat if you want to not go insane so fast.
I got a 20 times 5, that's 100.
Right, 20? Should we
Yeah,
2d6?
yeah,
You
3,
keep it.
3d6. I got a 20. Oh,
Oh,
because I have the, wait, because I have the plus 6 on
that'll
board.
be 14. So that'll be 14. Because
14.
like how do you get 3d6? How do you get 20? That doesn't the math doesn't
Oh
really
man,
add.
I was so excited about that. I got a 70. Okay.
14 is still good though actually. That's 70 power, so that's actually pretty good.
Okay, so magic points. I got 14 driven out of that. Um, so we're coming to the last one, which is education.
How educated you are. 2d6 plus 6.
So what is this used for? This is used to measure the formality and functional knowledge process. Okay, so
It's how knowledgeable of an individual you are. Intelligence and
it's
education
like
are still
wisdom, I would say.
not. I would.
Or is it
It's
like a subcategory from intelligence?
subcategory of intelligence. So intelligence is how smart of a person you are, how like your logical thinking, right? Well, education is your general knowledge, the stuff you know and the stuff you've learned. That's what education is.
Okay,
Which I like to
I got 40, which makes sense.
14.
40 in total. I got a
Oh, okay.
2 plus 6 is
Two.
8.
Oof. Okay. All right. So you don't have a lot of high stats.
Lucky me. And speaking of luck, here we go. So, luck.
That one is
When
luck. Yeah.
creating an investigator, roll a 3d6. So let's add another one there and just roll everything. 3d6, I multiply that by 5. I got a 10.
So 50. You have average luck.
Hmm.
Luck will be used for a couple of areas. For sometimes there's this cool mechanic in the game where if you have a group of players, and you want to throw something at players, the player with the lowest luck gets beaten by it sometimes, or
Okay.
you can also use luck to save yourself. Or there are some mechanics for luck. I won't dive into too much of it though.
Alright, so my age. So a player
Yeah.
can choose the age between 15 and 90 for their investigator. If you wish to create an investigator outside the age range, it is up to the keeper. I'm guessing the keeper is game master.
Game Monster. Yeah.
To
There are arcane mysteries.
to
Arcane lore. Arcane lore.
okay. So use the appropriate modifiers
Yeah.
for your choice age.
But with Call of Cthulhu, based on how old of a character you are, what it does is give you improvements to your education, so you become more learned as you grow older. But once you hit over 40, you start losing stats in your physical stats.
Okay.
So,
So I'm gonna put
yeah,
in my actual age, 31, just for
31.
simplicities. Make improvements check for education.
This
So
is why we need D100. So, improvement checks in Call of Cthulhu are basically you make a D100 roll, and you need to get over your education. If you succeed, you roll a D10, and you add that to your education.
Alright,
If
so
you get less, you're fine. Nothing happens.
okay, so I got a 73. This is the way, and so I know it says total 10, guys. It's just because it's so I'm using the first one as the tens and the other one as the single units. So together they're 73,
Great.
which is over my
Oh, nice. So
my
now that means
education.
you roll a d10, roll a d10, and you get to add that to your education stat. So you become a bit more
So I
fluent.
just roll a 1d10.
Yep.
My lord,
One,
it's just a 3.
3. So you add 3 to your education. So you're now a 14 educated man. So you've gotten some education over the years. How much? Alright. So,
So so what am I looking at here? So how does this work in practical use?
for education or.
Oh, in general. So let's say, because I'm looking at like my strength is 60, then the next two figures are 30 and 12 next
Right.
to it. Well,
So those are. This is where the next section rules come in, which are the half and fifth characteristic values. So, in Call of Cthulhu, you're always rolling a d100 in the game. That's the core system of the game. The idea of it is you're trying to roll equal to or less on your d100 than your stat. So say you want to, I don't know, try to break open a door, you would use, say, strength. So you roll d100 and get equal to or less than your strength. Right? That's the core system of the game.
all right. So for example, I wanted to open the door, like barge it in forcefully. So I'm using strength. I rolled a 44, like people are seeing on screen right now,
Yeah.
and that's below my
6.
my 60. Yeah.
Yep. So you succeed. Now, if you would get way less than that, less than your other two numbers, the 30 and I think it was the 12, then those become better values of success. All right. And it's calculated usually. There's a hard success and extreme success. A hard success is calculated on half your stat value.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get a 30 or less on your strength with breaking down the door, you get a hard success, which is a better success value than the regular success.
Okay.
Then the other one is the extreme success, which is under 1/5 of your character of your stat. In this case, being 12. So if you're rolling, if you roll under 60, just under 60, you're fine, regular success. If you roll under 30, it's a hard success because you've gotten a much better success with your dice roll. Under 12, extreme success. You do your result much better than everything else. All right, that's how it works. Sometimes the game master might ask for actually harder successes where maybe this task is much harder. Maybe you're trying to break down, say, like a door that's like been bolted from the other side. So you might have to ask, okay, you need to make a hard success because it's not an easy door you can crack. So that's what those values are for,
Okay.
and not just for stats, it's for skills. So we're going to see this a couple of times. Luckily, the character sheet takes care of this because otherwise we have to do some math, and it's not easy. Thankfully, Call of Cthulhu does provide some method of like easily calculating this stuff. They have a table for that in the starter set for Call of Cthulhu. They have an entire page dedicated to basically characteristic values and shit. So for values like that. I think even the core book has it. So, but the character sheet takes care of it automatically for us.
All right. Cool. So let's see. Other attributes: damage bonus and builds.
Right. So, damage bonus ability will be calculated down. You have to scroll down a bit below. There's a section for that on the bottom right. I believe it's written down. What damage bonus is, anytime you deal damage with a melee weapon or your fists, you're going to add your damage bonus. And damage bonus is derived from your strength and your size total up. And there's an entire table for that next to it. I believe with your total of, I think it's 60 and 75, you have a damage bonus of a d4 and a 1 for build.
So
that means
it's a 1d3 plus damage bonus. So
yeah.
I'm not.
So that means your fist is going to be. So if you look at the bottom, I think it's the right-hand corner of the character sheet.
Bottom left.
Let me check.
So the weapon is broad, which I'm guessing is my fists, right?
Yes.
The skill, nothing is in it. The damage is a 1d3, whatever dice that is, because I have no idea. Probably it's a 1d6 halved.
1/6 half usually how we do it.
Plus DB, which I'm still not sure what that stands for.
Damage bonus. That's what it stands for.
No, I mean, like, what is the value of the damage bonus?
The
Like,
value of the damage bonus, it depends on your. It's a combination of your strength and size. There's a table for it on the core book. And you basically total up your strength and size, and that will give you your damage bonus based on a table. Makes sense.
still not making sense to me. Sorry.
All right.
Because
So basically,
hold on. I'm gonna tell you what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at the table that says damage bonus build.
yeah,
Is giving me the strength plus size, like you're saying, and we basically
yeah,
have a numeric value from one to so on. Now my strength and size together is 110, which basically
okay.
puts me in the damage bonus none, and the
No, all
build
right.
is 0.
Yes. So that was my mistake, my math. Then apologies. That means that you have no damage bonus value total. So you
So
get nothing from damage bonus.
so the DB is 0 basically.
Yep.
Why does it not write 0? I can't even edit it. Okay.
What does damage bonus? What does damage bonus tell you?
Da- no, its damage is listed as 1d3 plus db.
Yes, that's the brawl. That's the standard brawl. All brawls do D3 damage. All characters have that.
So basically, but it's not giving me value.
DB, because the DB is there's a section for that already.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. No, it's in the character sheet. Let me hold up. Un momento.
As you can see, guys, you can definitely fill in your character. I'm going to write mine as my actual nickname. You can put in pronouns now. So I am he, him, right? That's how it is. Occupation, accountant, I guess, or do we have to fill in that later?
We'll put that in there.
Okay.
We'll put that in there for now. Because I also don't know what occupation you want to go.
Birth,
I mean, yeah.
birthplace, Pieta, Malta. I reside in Bujiba. I don't know if these are actually can fill in whatever, or like you have to.
Oh, you can. Oh no, you definitely can. Okay. No, but all right. So for your character sheet, if you scroll down a bit on the first page, next to the weapons,
Yeah.
do you see there's like move, build, dodge, damage bonus? Maybe.
Move, build, dodge, damage bonus. Yes.
All right. Is your damage bonus? There you go.
It's marked as 0, anyways.
Yep. Mhm.
All right, I see what's in. Okay, so plus damage bonus, so you have to kind of like look for it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Now,
blind. Anyone who knows that during the video and watching this, I'm blind. It's more because I'm not familiar with the character sheet, to be
oh
honest.
no, definitely. Oh, no worries. No worries.
So this is driven from this for anyone who's not following.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So you have none. So that means basically your melee weapons are just eh.
Okay.
So yeah. Next up is your hit points, which is already calculated.
So hold on. So yeah, hit points. Yeah, and then we move. Okay, so hit points is your constitution and size put together, I'm guessing.
Yes, divided by 10. If I'm correct. Yes. Round it down. Yes, so so that's a lot of, so I think it should be on the top of your character sheet. The HP should have been.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So just for us. So if
So
we were actually
it's
character.
110 because it's constitution 60 and size is 50. Divide that by 10, which is basically removing the zeros and canceling each other out, leaves you with 11. There we go, 11 hit points.
11 hit
Now
points.
people might be saying that's very low. Well,
yeah, that's the point.
I mean it's very realistic.
That is very realistic. Actually, you're basically the average human hit points. Now there are characters who can go a bit higher, but that's if they have a high size or high. And that's normal. And characters don't increase their hit points. This is what you have from character creation till how long this character lives. There's no increasing of hit points. This is what you're gonna get stuck with.
Yep. Welcome to Call of Cthulhu. I don't know why I said it like that. Anywho, so what am okay.
Next up will be move. movement rate.
So an investigator can move a number of yards in meters up to 5 times their movement. Okay.
Yeah. So,
So
and it's calculated in a bit of a weird way, but it depends on your strength, dex, and size. It actually it sort of explains to you what you need to do. So, if say both your dex and strength are each less than size, your move is 7. If either strength or dex are equal to or greater than your size, or if all two are equal, your move is 8. If both strength and dex are greater than size, your move is 9. So I think for you, I imagine your move is 8 because your strength is 60, your size is 50, your dex is 30, if I'm correct.
so my
So
dex is 30, that's correct. My strength is 60. So they're really two opposing values.
yeah,
Against my size, it's 50.
so
So,
one of them is higher, one of them is lower. So that means your move is 8.
so
Makes sense?
if either strength or dex is equal or greater than size, or if all three are equal, then move 8. If both strength and dex are greater than size, move 9. If both are okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
All right.
So you have a starting move 8, and of course, if you are older, you deduct more points from your move. So if you're like say in your 60s, you lose 3 points in your move because age.
All right, and that's
A
the
lot of things to do.
age part,
Yeah.
which doesn't apply to me,
Yeah,
because
because you're 30.
I'm 31.
All right. So, with that, we have done the core characteristics of character. Um, so yeah, we now move on to
Determine
your,
occupation.
your job.
So an occupation shows how an investigator makes a living. He is a doctor, a student, a lowlife, a fraudster. An occupation also reflects a particular investigator's field of expertise, and so dictates which of the skills should be higher. The actual occupation of your investigator will have limited effects during the game. It is simply a basis of your investigator's starting skills and help to define his or her backstory. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead.
So yeah, so now you can choose a occupation. Now, this is something with a core rulebook, but there is a reason why this is done. So there are sample occupations on page 40. There's not a lot. There's a bit. Most of these are sort of tied to the Lovecraftian style of game. So you would make characters who fit a Lovecraftian game. Maybe. So if you go to page 40,
Oh, I love
you'll
this. Hold on, because I just came across page 37, which defines what the numbers
yes,
mean.
that does. So you can take a
So
look at those.
let's see. Strength is 60, which is marked between 50 and 90, so an average human strength. My constitution is 60 also. Average healthy. Okay, so I'm average. Size is 50. So, okay, so I'm guessing it's closer to the 60, which is average human size.
Yeah.
Moderate height and weight. Yeah, well, I'm actually a bit taller, but anyways.
Yeah.
Dexterity is 30. Oof. So to that, slow, clumsy, and poor motor skills, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like
Something like that.
he's closer to
Sort of
that. He's halfway through because he's closer
halfway
to
through.
that, and he's also kind of average.
Yeah.
Appearance is 25. I am ugly, possibly disgrued due to injury at birth. Okay, injury or at birth. Okay, cool. Not so cool. What am I saying? 45 average human intelligence. Okay, that's fine. Power. Where's my power? Power is 70. Strong, will driven, high potential to connect with the unseen and magical. And my education 43 is completed completely uneducated in every way, or high school graduate. I think it's more close to high school graduate since it's a 43.
Yeah. So you maybe done like the equivalent of like our equivalent maybe secondary school. So I think it's also high school. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Introducing
Okay.
Harvey Walters,
Yeah, that's a sample
creating
character.
backstory.
So
Okay, so sample. Good.
class D.
It's a late hour. Sorry.
No
So
worries.
sample occupations. So an antiquarian, artist, athlete, author, large member of the
Clergy. It's a clergy member of the clergy.
clergy.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why I read it that way.
Clergy. No worries.
Criminal, doctor of medicine, drifter, dilettante,
Dilettante. Yeah.
uh, engineer, entertainer, farmer, hacker, journalist, lawyer, librarian, military officer, missionary, musician, parapsychologist. What? Okay. Police detective, police officer, private investigator, professor, soldier, tribe member, zealot. Okay, so I'm going. Is there a way to determine from my stats what I should be, or can I be anything I want to?
You can be anything you want.
Because I mean,
That is,
trying to be a doctor with just like a high school graduate
yeah, it doesn't really
doesn't make
make
sense.
sense. Yeah. Um, there are many options you can choose here from your stats. The idea of Call of Cthulhu is your stats are not supposed to limit your character in terms of what you can be. Um, that's sort of the idea. Of course, let's be honest here. With your intelligence and your education, probably nothing with like a doctor of medicine is going to make sense. Um, but there could be another job that say, yeah, this could fit. Um, so yeah,
Mm,
basically take whatever you feel like that fits. If you want to go for the classic Lovecraftian stories, of course, private investigator is always like one of the most common occupational tropes in Lovecraft, especially in 1920. But you don't have to go with the norm.
I think I'm gonna be going for a police detective.
A police detective. Interesting.
So I'll put that into my occupation there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Alright, here comes the Nazi part now.
Yep. Now it's time to.
Okay. Guide me
It's
through
time.
it.
All right. So let's go through step 3 now. So we determined your occupation is going to be police detective.
Anything
Good.
written in this, like Lovecraftian, artcraft?
So that is where we'll now because we determine your let me check. So we determine your skills. Oh, not your skills. So let us now mark your skills. So all occupations start with a set of skills you start off. All right. These are
Do
the
I
skills that
tick them?
yes, you can take them.
Okay, so
Um,
put acting.
yeah, acting, craft. Yeah. So the skill. So the occupations provide basically these are the skills that all occupations start work with. All occupations start with those skills, along with one extra skill called credit rating, which is how much money you make. Um, so yeah, all you do is just mark those skills. You will get a choice here and there. But I believe you should be getting a total of, I think it is 10 skills, including your credit rating. So you should have 9 ticks. If you need anything, if you want a sort of quick rundown of some of the skills you have unlocked, you can ask me. But yeah.
What's the one? Any other? I would like to say. Computer use.
We don't have that with 1920s, unfortunately. Because you use the modern page. No worries.
But it's okay. Let's go with occult. Yeah.
Sure. You know someone called?
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. So I have the acting, I have disguise, firearms, which is handguns, intimidation, law, listen, occult, spot hidden,
And psychology.
and psychology. Yes, sorry.
Do you have that
missed
marked?
No.
Okay. Alright. So, one small mistake we made. And also, I just looked this up. My fault. You have to choose between art craft, acting, or disguise. Because it says art/craft, acting,
But
or
okay,
disguise.
that brings me down to 8 then, yeah?
Yeah, so, okay, you should have 9 then, alright, then you get that. I made a mistake. I said you should have 10 skills. I think you should have only 9. That was...
I have
my
8 skills.
8 skills plus another skill that's not... That
Oh,
you
no,
don't
no,
mark.
it's 8. Total 8.
8 total skills. There's one more skill you have, which is called credit rating. It's not a skill you can mark. It's somewhere like the first column. It's one of the skills that have a box.
Oh, so you can't go. So it's
You
credit
can't mark
rating and Cthulhu's Mythos. You can't mark them, so you
cannot mark
automatically have those. Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
And we're talking
there's
about these two.
There's reasons for that box. I'll come back to that. For now, you can use those as the skills you have. There's a total reason why those boxes.
Cool.
Won't dive into that yet, because that's just something else. So, with your investigator occupation chosen, your skills written down, and now we can jump into how you get your skill points.
So the thing is,
So-
my credit rating is 20-50.
That is the credit rating that your character is supposed to have around that range for police detectives. Like police detectives, generally they get 20 to 50 credit rating. That's a decent, sort of like an average
Where do I
credit
put?
amount.
Where do I put that in? Is the question though.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. No worries. No worries. I'm gonna guide you. Because that's sort of like an idea what your character's potential starting amount is going to be. Right? Or how much money they can make. So let's now go to your skill point. Now, primarily for people to let everyone know, this is a skill-based game. Meaning the game is all about the skills the characters have. Which is why there's a bunch of them. So, we're now going to decide how much skill points you get. So, you chose your occupation, you are going to be a police detective. The police detective should tell you occupational skills, or occupation skill points. Can you see that? I believe it's under credit rating.
Guide me, mate. I'm.
So-
This is the first. When you're trying to describe character, even this happened with us with Cyberpunk.
I know. That can be confusing. I
Get a
think.
character sheet in front of you and say, okay, it is in this midsection.
Yeah.
Under this. Help
Go
me
to
out.
the core book. Go to the core book.
Okay.
In the subtitle occupation section,
What?
under the police detective.
I'm under skills already, so hold on, I must have jumped it.
Yeah. So go back to the police detective, where it was from the sample occupation.
Okay, so sample occupation, police detective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see occupational skill points.
Okay, here it is.
That's how much skill points you're going to get. All right, and the way how it's calculated is like this: you're gonna have your So all characters have different skill points. Make sense? So you're going to get your education times 2, plus either your dexterity or your strength times 2. That's how much total of them together. That's how much skill points you have. All right, for your occupation skills.
Where do I where do I put that in my character sheet?
That's where the weirder part comes. These are going to be spread across your character sheet.
Oh, so
you don't have
this is the total skill points.
Yeah, this is the total skill points you have. Apologies for that. So sort of like with Witcher, right? Where you have like a budget of skill points you start off with.
Okay. God give me patience. How they come
Apologies.
up with this shit. That's not your fault. You know, this I can see why people like go for like D&D, which is kind of more streamlined.
Yeah.
Witcher, same thing. So when I start seeing this kind of complication for a character, I just like, you know what? I can tell from the get-go this is not something I could find myself promoting to other people unless I kind of give them pre-mates. But that's me. Education is, good lord. So 43 times 2 plus, I'm gonna go with my strength because it's the highest. 60 times 2, that gives me 206. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So I have 206 skill points. Now,
Now, you can spread these skill points wherever you want in the skill points you have marked, including credit rating. Alright?
including what?
Including credit rating.
Okay, uh-huh.
Now, do you see that some of the skills in Call of Cthulhu on the character sheet have a brackets next to them? A brackets with a number on the character sheet?
Yeah.
Like, let's take a skill you have. Pick a skill you have, which is with that.
Listen, which is 20%.
Yeah. All characters start with a base listen of 20%. All characters start with that. You can then spend your occupational skill points to boost that skill up. Alright? So for example, you can choose to spend 30 skill points to boost that from 20 to 50. Alright? All skills have mostly a starting value based on that brackets. So now you're going to spend those 206 on wherever skill points you want, boosting the base value they have already.
So, and I put it in what? In the first column?
In the first column, yeah.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, to make my life simple, is I divided my points by 8,
yeah.
and that gives me an average all around, which gives me 25 in each.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. 1, 2. I think it's by 9 instead.
No, because you have credit rating, right?
Yeah, no worries.
I always keep fucking forgetting that. So, what was the number I gave you? 208?
Yes.
Division by 9. Oh, yeah, it's 23. Okay, credit. 23. So, all my sets are gonna be looking pretty much the same.
Yeah, but also the skills with the brackets in it, you get that boost automatically.
Well, it's not reflecting on the character sheet, I can tell you that much.
No, you have to do it yourself.
Okay, so I'm doing all of them 23, and then I add
the brackets percentage of those skills.
Do I add it to the number in the column?
Yes.
So 23 plus, okay, this is gonna be a while. So 0. Well, it's 5% really. So that brings it up to 24. Okay, so 23 plus 20% brings that up to 27. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Okay, let's just start changing the figures here. 23 plus 15%. This is why you need a calculator, people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apologies. Yeah, this is one of those.
Not your fault.
Thankfully, this is the only part where you'll ever be using a calculator, at least in the system. Just in this process.
Has to be Lovecraft. I can see why. I can see why Fantasy Flight took it on board. Kind of goes down their alley.
Yeah,
Okay.
we will get that joke.
Fucking.
Maybe others will, hopefully.
Okay, so that's 24. Okay. Last one, 28.
Right.
Voila,
Better keep.
ladies and gentlemen.
Those are for your. Well, we better keep the calculator around one more use.
Oh, it's right next to me. Don't worry.
Yeah. No worries. There's only one more use. So yeah, those are your occupational skills that as a detective you have trained yourself to be good at. All right. So yeah. Then you have another set of skills. This is very similar to The Witcher again, which is your personal interest skills. Skills that you yourself have taken upon as hobbies or side gigs, whatever. Stuff that are outside of your profession. These are drawn from your intelligence, multiplied by 2. So same thing with occupational skills, basically. You're going to get your intelligence times 2 as skill points, and you can spend them on skills that are not your occupation.
Where are you reading this off the rule book, by the way? Because I have that on the thing,
so this
and
is on
people need to follow.
Yeah, so this is on page 36 on their personal interest.
So we're moving backwards on the book? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, personal interest. Okay, so we're reading this one. Investigators also draw upon experience, skills, and knowledge. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Multiply the investigator's intelligence by 2. So this is where we do. That's it. My brain decided to say, "Fuck you." So times 2. That's 90 skill points. Where was I? Here. And allots the points to any skills which are included, adding further points to occupation skills, except for Cthulhu mythos, unless otherwise agreed by the keeper. Write down the total points for each skill. Investigator's sheet. Okay. So I can choose any number of these?
Yeah. Any of the skills. Now, so we can choose any of the skills, any ones you want, divide them how you wish.
I'm just going to choose 3.
Yeah?
Do I have to kind of also mark them?
You don't have to.
No, okay.
You just add whatever their base chance in the bracket. That's in the bracket.
Okay.
That's all you do.
Right. I'm a police detective. I can. Okay. Ride is like driving, yeah? I'm guessing.
Ride.
Or drive auto. Drive auto. That's.
There you go.
Let's go for that one. So it's.
Ride is horse riding.
Okay, so that would be 36. Okay. What else? I would say fighting brawl, sure.
Sure, you're a good fighter. You maybe know how to punch someone.
I hope so. That would be a 37, and I would say persuasion is important, so let's go ahead and add that, which brings us to 33, and that's it.
Okay, that's it. Those are your skill points.
Cool, yay.
Yeah.
What was next in the character creation we were talking about?
So we've allocated your skill points, so that's a step tree. Step tree does go a little bit more firearm skill creating on page 36 again. Sort of explaining some stuff on those. If you want to read those out, you can. Or we can move on.
Let's move on, shall we? The video is getting long enough as it is.
Yeah. So now normally in step 4 you can choose to create a backstory. The game provides some basic quick rolls so you can basically create a character's backstory. This is on step 4. Yeah. So you can, because every character is different. They'll have different experiences. They all have different lives they grew up in. And the backstory sort of is a very quick rundown of what the character has gone through.
Okay, so here we
All
are.
right.
Create backstory. Okay, sample occupations is the one we chose. This is amalgamash. Feedback to whoever wrote this. You could have made it easier. I don't know if it's because we're kind of just skimming through this, but step 3 and 4 just kind of mashed together there. I don't know if you realize that in the book, because literally, hold on.
Maybe that's a me or every person experiences.
What was step 3? Step 3 was. So step 2, determine occupation. But determining your occupation is not in step 3 at all. It's in step 4. Sample occupation of.
Yeah, this is where I think the revised book make a little bit of a fuck up, where they've thrown stuff later on. They probably could have moved them up. Or maybe because I have an old. It could be I have an old
proofread
copy.
your shit.
It could be I have an old copy also, so that could be a case.
Okay. Right. So backstories. We were talking. So do I really need to do this? Is this something that is necessary?
You don't have to. It can help in the game, but it's not a necessary requirement. If you want,
so this is the kind of the flavor, right? It doesn't
Yeah,
it doesn't
there's
add
flavor.
or subtract anything from my stuff.
It doesn't. No. Maybe the game master would be useful to have the keeper. Sorry to have to use these as stuff for the game itself, but this is the character creation video. You don't have to get into this if you don't wanna.
This is the flavor part. You can go ahead. I mean, you can go ahead and do that yourself.
Yeah.
That usually is quite timely. It's very interesting to see what my character would be up to be fair. But for this video, I'm just gonna go ahead and just skip it.
And there's some cool stuff like determining what's your meaningful location, who's your significant other, treasure, etc. There's some cool stuff with that. But yeah, it's all fluff. Alright.
Okay.
Then we'll just jump into the 5th step then.
Which is equip the investigator, yeah. Cash and assets. So credit rating is let's go here. Credit rating is at 23, which is average. Reasonable level of comfort, 3 meals a day. Okay. Accommodation, any average home. Okay, where do I put these? This is
okay. So those are just sort of, that's the basic idea how you carry. The game actually provides money. It's the next page. Next page has the table for the cash and asset.
My story, backstory, fellow investigators, quick reference rules, and that's it. Otherwise, I have just a blank page where I could write potential notes, I'm guessing. Or am I missing something?
Your core book, my bad, your core book. Apologies. On the core book, page 47, there is a table called cash and assets.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No worries. Yeah, so you're going to find your credit rating, which is average.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get your cash, your assets, and spending level in that amount multiplied. So we're 1920s. Just to explain people the difference between what cash, assets, and spending levels are. Cash is the physical cash you have on your hand, in your wallet. Make sense? Assets is stuff you have purchased beforehand that you have sort of like in cars or in houses, etc. Right? Spending level is stuff. It's a bit of a weird mechanic. Basically, it's a system where you, in a day, in a week, you can choose to spend whatever you have in your spending level for stuff. This is stuff like food, electricity, simple stuff that maybe your character might be noticed or not. So that is what they are.
Okay, I'm calculating them as we speak. What the hell is my... Okay, 23, I have to remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, 23 times 50. Okay, so my
No, it's 23 times 2.
yeah, the cash part is done.
Oh, okay, actually,
So
step my bad.
150. Sorry, I didn't explain.
No worries, no worries.
So my assets is 1150, and spending level is 50.
10. 10 is, yeah.
Sorry, 10.
No, 10.
Yeah.
10. Just to let people know for these dollars, because they do seem small amount, these are 1920s dollars. Um, years of inflation has increased the amount of money has with stuff we get. So back in those days, having $10 matters a lot if you had like $2.
Actually,
Um,
let's go with modern. Actually, because I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, we go with modern. Yeah, we can go with modern.
so
So
my average is 200 spending every day. My cash that I'm
yeah,
carrying on me is the same, right? No, it's not.
no, it's 40 times
It's 40. So,
23. Which is a lot more.
hey, 920. Oh,
Again, modern day, a lot of the money we inflated by the time of
and is that times 1000? Am I reading that
yes,
correctly?
yes, yeah, three. Again, Don, inflation.
So 23,000 in assets. Now, remind me again, you were saying in assets is what I hold in the bank, or what is it? Like what I
It's
can.
either hold in the bank or what you have in terms of items, so like a house or a car or stuff like that.
Cool, okay.
There are things the investigator owns at the start of the play, and the dollar amount charged to the total value of those stuff you own that have like a large price tag. Cash is physical money you have, and spending level is an arbitrary amount of money that you don't really keep track of. It's stuff you spend like expenses, like food, drinks, maybe I don't know, your Spotify or something, stuff like that you have to pay on an arbitrary basis that doesn't really keep track of. So yeah, those are what those mean.
Mm-hmm.
Now, um, now if you want, there is a table and like far in the back of the book for equipment to purchase stuff like weapons, other stuff. We don't have to do that because that's just bookkeeping, and I don't think it needs to be done. So unless you want to.
No, well, obviously I'll do it to finalize the character, but for this one I'll just skip it.
That's it.
What page number is it that though?
Those are on page 396 to 400 is the equipment list, and then on page 401 to 405 is the weapon.
Okay, so in our case it's 399 page.
Yeah.
Modern day men's clothing and so forth. Okay, cool. And so when you are choosing this, you're going according to your spending level, which is in my case 200, or is it
No.
like in assets?
In assets, in cash, those.
Is it in assets or in cash? Because that makes a big
Uh,
difference. Am I
I
go-
would say assets. I will say assets.
so
It's
up
a bit
up
weird.
to 23,000 worth of assets from all of this table
Yes.
is what I can have on me. Ah,
Yes.
okay,
And you can spend cash if you run out of stuff from. That makes sense.
sure. All right, cool. So that's my character.
That's it.
All right, kind of fast through the freaking hell. New characters are a bit of
They
an
are. They're a bit weird.
okay. The pain we've been through the pain. Now it's time for us to run a session. I'm joking. Not right now.
Oh, no, no. Hold. I was like, wait, what now? I'm gonna have an
No.
adventure.
It's 2 minutes shy from
Yeah,
midnight, and
midnight, and we don't want to spend. Yeah, we're not gonna do a session. I don't
that's
even have.
that's the way we do a character sheet.
Yeah, and that is. So I would just to mention that is the core way how to do the character. Those are the core rules. Of course, every system has variations, rules variants on how to modify stuff and fix it up.
Oh yeah.
Um, I would say probably the most notable version for Call of Cthulhu has the quickfire method. This is the method that's presented actually in the SAR rules here or in the quick start rules on the haunting. If you're interested, if you want to pick up Call of Cthulhu, Chaosium offers it for free. The method of creating a character is much faster with quick start. Basically, taking away a lot of the chunk that you've gone from skill point. It's not much different, but it just takes away a lot of the skill point chunk, mostly. and keep it simple and straightforward. So, yeah.
All right.
And then and most of the other ways to create a character is just through characteristics. Most of the stuff is through your characteristics because that's where your character derives from. So, yeah, something to mention.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was somewhat of an educational one for creating a very quick way of, or which pages you need to look at through the Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. Till next video, guys. Thank you very much, Ethan, for running this with me. Sorry, I got very frustrated there, but
no, understandable.
It's late
I can feel your
and
pain.
I
You didn't want to do math.
no, not at this hour.
Sorry.
No, not your fault. I asked for it.
Yeah.
Adios.
Anything else? See you guys.